The 2021 Ford Bronco Sport is built for travelers, explorers, and adventure seekers. This 4x4 is compatible with any and every trip. Its features include 7 available GOAT modes to go over any type of terrain, available trail control, and twin clutch rear drive unit to help get where you need to go. Head over to Ford.com to check out the Ford Bronco Sport. Built wild, built Ford proud.
Do you know the medical term for someone who experiences herpes, cold sores, chronic UTIs, yeast infections, and BV? It's called being human. At HelloWisp.com, you can get the sexual health care you need same day without stepping foot in a doctor's office. Privately message a doctor online and get same-day prescriptions for BV, yeast, UTI, STIs, herpes, cold sores, birth control, and emergency contraception delivered discreetly to your home for free in all 50 states. Or send to your local pharmacy to pick up within 3 hours. Take 10% off your first order with the code HEALTHY only at HelloWisp.com. That's hello, WISP.com.
The Trend Reporter is a production of iHeartRadio. Looking for a product mentioned on the Trend Reporter? Check out our Amazon page to shop the show. Also, check out my Instagram and YouTube for more beauty and wellness coverage, including tutorials and more. Links in the show notes. I'm Mara Schiavocampo, journalist and beauty obsessive. Keeping up with beauty and wellness trends is a lot of work, so let me do it for you. Today on the Trend Reporter, body beauty. We're talking about loving all the skin below your neck.
People should think about treating their body like they treat their skin.
Beauty expert and body makeup master Michaela Wariebi on her tips for gorgeous skin all over your body.
I'm gonna literally look like a glowing goddess.
Guys, she's painted Beyonce's body. She definitely knows what she's talking about. Plus, esthetician Shay Sadra-Lashrafi talks me through a simple and mostly painless at-home waxing session. All right, on 3.
All right.
I'm scared. Everything you want to know about the beauty and wellness trends worth knowing. So we're talking all things body beauty. I feel like being on lockdown gave me time to play with a lot of stuff that I might not normally test out. So summer's coming up. And I feel like it's a perfect time to talk about it because we're going to be showing more of our bodies. So let's start with lotion. Being well hydrated, I feel like is the foundation of any beautiful body. What do you like when it comes to lotions and oils?
I actually keep it pretty simple. I'm like a shea butter girl because I have fairly reactive skin. So I try not to use too many crazy things. So I really go to, it's a like family owned a company that makes like a massive amount of different types of shea butter infused with like almond oil, castor oils, just depending upon what you want. It's called Yadane. And they have actual oils too. I use sweet almond oil. It's really good for like cell turnover and things like that. I also like Glossier. They have some body hero stuff that's really good, but you got to be careful with that because it is fragrance heavy. But I like really strong body fragrance. So
the brand that you mentioned with the shea butter, is that something that people can buy online? Is it available?
Yeah, you can. You can buy it online. It's Yadain, Yadane Naturals. And they make everything in-house. They've been like in existence for like over 20 years. It's like the real deal.
Okay, that's good to know because I love my shea butter. But when people ask, like people outside of New York ask where to get it, I'm like, well, I just walk to the corner and get it. Like I just buy like the big tub for $6. So I love to be able to point people to something they can buy no matter where they are. So let's talk about body makeup a little bit because this definitely seems to be one of your areas of expertise, and it is something that I'm just starting to play with. I got these really dark spots on my knees from doing yoga. So every morning and every night I do like some stretches, and my base stretch is like a child's pose and a cat cow, which they're both on your knees. So unbeknownst to me, over time, it basically creates a callus on that pressure point on your knees. So I went to the doctor and I'm like, what is this? And they're like, well, it's a thickening of your skin because you keep putting pressure points on those same points day after day. So as I'm trying to heal that and not do those poses so often, and also use like glycolic acid and lots of shea butter and trying to get, lighten those spots back to their normal color. I've been playing with body makeup a little bit because I just don't like the way they look.
Yeah.
So what are your tips for someone who's getting into that space?
I would say less is more. One, I know that we strive for perfection, but slight discolorations in skin is like fairly normal. So I think it's more about tricking the eye than like covering. So I love things that have like a little bit of a reflective property to them for someone new, like, like a body bronzer or like those like glow type products for the body are really great because it basically refracts the sun. So you don't see the imperfection as much, but you don't have to put as much makeup on because when summertime comes, it's going to be hot. And you don't want to be adding another layer or something that's going to insulate. So I find that using things that have like a little bit of reflective property is really good. So then you also don't have to worry about like transferring to your clothes and like your makeup starting to melt off your body in the middle of the rooftop party. So
right, which is never a good look, like dripping down your leg. Well, so I had a question about transferring because when I have used, like, especially with body bronzers, then I'll go to sleep at night and I'll wake up in the morning and my sheets will be all brown, or like I'll use the bathroom and I'll get up and like the toilet seat will be all brown. So how do you manage transfer? Also your clothes, obviously. And then you go to hug somebody who's wearing white and they'll never talk to you again because you've ruined their clothes now. So how do you handle transference?
So that's why I say less is more, because makeup is makeup. Like, there will be some transfer if you put too much. But it's really about choosing the right formulas and making sure you're mixing them with the right things. Like, I don't know what body bronzer you use, but if you put that body bronzer like on top of body oil that you already had on, even if it's made to set, it's not going to set because there's like a layer of oil over your skin already. So sometimes you have to think about things like that when you're like about to go out. So like, I love body oil, but if I know that I'm about to wear some sort of body makeup that's likely to transfer, I'll probably avoid the oil that day and go with something that'll really like completely absorb in my skin so that whatever the body makeup I'm wearing can like actually do what it's supposed to do. So you have to kind of be mindful of the formulas. You want to look for things that have like silicones in them, like are typically are longer wearing. And that's kind of what you're aiming for. So you want to be mindful of what you're mixing it with, and then you want to choose formulas that have ingredients that make them like really grip the skin.
So what are some of the body makeup products that you really like?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a liquid bronzer girl. Like when you think like NARS, I like kind of make my own with a lot of stuff from Danessa Myricks. I'll just mix with my shea butter and like the regular, highlight that she has for the face and put that on my body. But like, I like the same like refractive thing. If I do want to do something light that's like more complexion, MAC Face and Body is really good. And I would say like those are kind of my tops. If you're getting into like the heavy hitters, like if you have a scar that you're like, I'm really self-conscious about this, I really want to cover it. That's when I start going to the heavier things like Dermablend. And that is like probably like my top and most favorite brand is Dermablend, and then Cover FX.
Dermablend and Cover FX. Okay, that's good to know.
Like, they're not as popular as like some of the other like, razzle dazzle in amazing packaging body makeups, but those brands were made for people that have vitiligo and those types of skin disorders. So they're really made to hold. And like the shade ranges are excellent.
And I love, you mentioned mixing the Danessa Myricks with some of your oil or your lotion. I love her products because they are so pigmented. So that's a really great idea. Is that something you do? Do you mix kind of products that might have been made for your face or maybe are not intended for your body? Do you then use those on your body in other ways?
Yeah, absolutely. That's like my go-to. I can be very old school. Like, I love all the products, but sometimes I'm like, I'm not stepping my foot in another Sephora. I'm not buying another new thing because I can.
Is that because you'll go in there and you'll spend way more than you plan?
Well, yes,
like
I will, because you do love them. But I have like a room, like the space you're in right now. I have a room like that's full of makeup, like that.
You do?
Like, yes. If you go on my Instagram, you'll see pictures of it. I have like a makeup room. So.
That's like my fantasy.
It's a small room, but it's massive enough. And it's makeup for my work. But, it's also like, how many body bronzers do I need? I'm never going to get through this, like, this highlighter from Nessa. So I'm going to mix it with the shea butter that I'm already about to put on my body. And I'm going to literally look like a glowing goddess as I walk into the park. So
I love that. That's a really smart idea. So then when you're applying it, do you use just your hands, or do you ever use like a the blender balls or brush? How do you apply it?
I think it really depends on your skin type. I think the brushes are good, and there's so many different body brushes. I mostly use my hands, to be honest, because I really want to massage it. But you could do the same with buffing. It's really just a personal preference, and also the type of product. I find that things that are more emollient, I like to apply with my hands. But if it's something denser, I like to use a brush. But it's also a personal thing too.
What do you think about powders? I'm a fan of kind of dusting a little in cleavage, the same highlighter I'll use on my face.
Yeah.
If my cleavage is showing, I'll just add it there. Are you a fan of powders in the summer?
Yeah, I am. I do powder more in the décolleté area, like you were saying. I do less on the body because in these areas, I find that I'm typically just using something that's working with what I'm already treating my body with or hydrating the body with. I think that they can be good. I really don't use powders on my legs and, whatnot, but do a little shoulder, a little
shoulder,
a little collarbone, so because it's kind of close to what's happening with your face. But I love the idea of using the same products, kind of head to toe. But there was a powder I was playing with her a little bit. Amika randomly came out with a glow powder that was in a perfume squeezing thing. And that was cute for a second. I think something like that has more of a spray type of thing, because brushing powder on the body, I don't know. I feel like that lends for more inconsistency and finish.
Yeah.
But that's a personal preference.
Yeah, but I do love a little on the shoulder. Shoulders are actually my favorite part of anybody, whether it's a sexy ass man or whether it's me or a beautiful woman or an infant. I find the human shoulder to be, I don't know why, I just think it's such a dope part of the body. So I love a little shimmer on the shoulder, especially, when your shoulders are showing. I just think it's a great look. Okay. So with bronzers, you mentioned a couple, but I want to make sure that I have it all kind of in the same chunk. So what are your favorite bronzers?
My top ones for body would be NARS, and then my Danessa mix that I make. So there's two. One is the Illuminating Skin Sheen. It's a cream pump. So it's already a cream highlighter thing. And then so you kind of are shearing it out either in an oil or your lotion or your shea butter. And then she has actually it's a powder highlighter, but I basically turn it into a cream or an oil by mixing it with an oil or a cream.
Interesting. So you're mixing a powder highlighter with a cream to create a glowy.
A new cream highlighter.
Oh my gosh, that is so creative. I never would have thought that. The idea of cream. I remember once upon a time, way, way, way early when I was just learning about makeup, somebody was like, cream and powder don't mix. And I just always that rule always kind of stuck in my head. So I never would have thought to do that.
Yeah, to some extent, yes, right. But they use powder pigment in whatever the carrier for the cream is to make cream bronzing products. So as long as the ingredients work together, it's fine. You just need to use enough of whatever the full liquid or cream is so that it can kind of overtake the powder and it doesn't just clump up.
Yeah, that's smart. That's a smart tip. What about body jewelry?
I mean, I love waist beads, but for me, it's a very much a cultural thing. I'm West African. So that's just what we do. It's to help monitor your weight. Definitely helps keep your, waist a little smaller. And it's also an intimate thing. But for us, we don't show our waist beads. So it's definitely been a new thing for me to see people openly showing waist beads. We are definitely your drawers are showing.
It's supposed to be an undergarment.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an undergarment. It's not something that you share with everybody.
So how do you feel about that? How do you feel about kind of the more mainstreaming of waist beads?
There's always cross-cultural sharing. West African people live in the Western world now and vice versa. So it's you can't stop that from happening, but I wish that people understood a little more rather than just jumping on what they feel is a trend.
Well, what would you like? What do you want people to understand?
I would love if people at least maybe read more on the cultural context of it, as opposed to, because it is cute. That's why we wear it. So I get the excitement and I love that people want to embrace it. I wish that people just knew where it came from.
And when you say it helps keep your waist a little smaller, is that just because you're mindful? Like, you know what size it was yesterday, so you got to make sure to keep it.
Yeah, but then also like, you have something that's like kind of holding your body in like a specific place for like, you don't take them off. So it's just always there and your body starts to form with that. Like, I don't want to say it's like a waist trainer, but it's essentially like keeping like your body restricted. So yeah.
Is there any retailer, any online place that you like to buy them from?
No, I always go to like, I find an old African lady like that has a stall somewhere and I buy from those people because I'm not going to support mass market waist beads.
Yeah. See, that's how I feel about shea butter.
Yeah. If there's other brands that I could recommend, actually, Skin Muse is a really good one that's owned by a Nigerian woman who imports shea butter directly from Nigeria. There is another girl named Hannah Knott, very popular on Instagram. She's importing the shea butter directly from Ghana. You can order both of these online and support like direct harvesting from villages, as well as the Black people who develop the brands to bring them to mass market.
Okay. Yeah, that's important. I think as consumers, we're just becoming a lot more mindful of these things. Any other tips, tricks, products you love?
I would just say that people should think about like treating their body like they treat their skin, because everybody's into like all full skincare routine for their face and they're doing these serums and then they like put Jergens on their body and it's like, that's skin too. So I would say even like in addition to the body makeup, think about a body skincare routine.
Yeah. Do you have a routine that you like?
I mean, I exfoliate regularly. I use body serum from Necessaire. Like I treat my skin, like I treat the skin on my body like the skin on my face. And I actually I'm so excited to see more body skincare products come on the market, because before it was like you were kind of doing some kitchen cosmetics, trying to get, serums and masks for the body and things like that. Just like you mask your face, you should mask your body too, mud masks, things like that.
What do you use to exfoliate?
So I randomly found this like amazing coffee scrub in TJ Maxx one day. Like I'm with my mom and I'm like, this is either going to like really mess my skin up or it's going to be amazing. So I was like, I'm just going to try it because I make coffee scrubs. I was making coffee scrubs at home for myself because caffeine stimulates blood circulation, helps with cellulite, all that stuff. So I was like, I'm going to try it. And it was amazing. It was amazing. It's called Harper and Lee.
Harper and Lee coffee scrub.
That's like my go-to exfoliator. And then like loofah is great too. But people have to definitely like use your loofah a couple times and then you let the loofah go. You can't let the loofah just hang in the shower for like weeks and months, because then you just rub bacteria all over your body.
What were you using to make coffee scrub?
Yeah, just like coffee grounds. That gets me some definitely caffeinated Cafe Bustelo. Mix some like honey in it and some oil. And I get in the tub with my big bowl of my mix and just exfoliate using that. And
so the tub without water in it, just to like not make a mess.
No, just to not make a mess, and like it's catching all the coffee grounds and stuff that are dropping. And then you rinse it off and your skin is super smooth.
Does your skin smell like coffee afterwards?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, I like the smell of coffee.
Oh my God, I love it. Yes. But it's really like it. I mean, well, I guess some people don't like the smell of coffee, but I love the smell of coffee. So it's like very soothing. And I actually don't even drink coffee. So.
Right. That's great to know. This was fun. This was a lot of fun. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. No, my pleasure.
You guys can check out Michela's amazing work on Instagram at Michela Warriebe. Coming up after the break, the new at-home waxing kit that looks and smells like candy. It's kind of amazing. I'm going to give it a shot. Yes, I'm going to wax myself at home for the first time ever, and you get to listen in on what is surely going to be a train wreck. I don't know about you, but I am definitely ready for some outdoor adventure. Not only have I been in the house for a year, but now it's starting to get warm out. So it's definitely time to start planning that next outdoor trip. So I'm thinking maybe off-roading, something new, something fun. And the 2021 Ford Bronco Sport is the perfect way to get there. This SUV has been created to help make journeys as easy as possible, and it has tons of features that do that, including a Haas suspension system, available off-road capability,
available GOAT modes to help you go over any type of terrain, and available advanced 4x4 with a twin clutch rear drive unit. Want to learn more? Head over to Ford.com to check out the Ford Bronco Sport. And while you're there, you can also build and price out your Ford Bronco Sport. You can do all of that right now, today. Built wild, built Ford proud.
Looking for great entertainment? Sign up for Peacock, the free streaming service from NBC Universal. Peacock has the perfect pick for any mood with thousands of hours of hit movies and shows. Looking for a family movie night? Check out classic hits like the Harry Potter film series. In the mood for laughs? Get your comedy fix with every episode of The Office and Parks and Recreation. And don't miss critically acclaimed dramas like Yellowstone, award-winning movies, WWE, and more. Plus, get access to exclusive originals like AP Bio and Girls 5 Eva, as well as tons of kids entertainment like Curious George and Trolls Topia. And with dozens of always-on Peacock channels, you can stay connected 24/7 with live news on The Choice and sports talk on NBC Sports on Peacock. Don't miss the brand new movie, The Boss Baby, Family Business, in theaters and streaming on Peacock Premium. With all this and more, Peacock always has something that you can't not watch. Sign up for free at peacocktv.com. Okay, guys, so now we're going to talk about waxing, at-home waxing. Esthetician Shay Sadrolash-Rafi from Wax is here. It's a new waxing company, and she's going to talk me through my first ever at-home waxing. Thank you for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
So I'm equal parts excited and nervous because after you explain the basics of at-home waxing, I am going to wax myself with your guidance. And waxing is not my favorite thing in the world to do because it hurts. So
exactly.
The thought of inflicting that on myself is a little nerve-wracking, but I think it's going to be fun. So let's first talk about kind of the at-home waxing space, because I feel like there's always been this space, but it seems like you guys have now kind of elevated it. Like, these are beautiful products. I wouldn't know this was wax.
It's made so much more luxurious than what we're used to in the past with the old traditional strips and honey and all the mess that goes into at-home waxing, basically. So
yeah. So my thinking about at-home waxing is that these are my perceptions coming into it, right? A, it's going to be messy, like you noted, and B, it's not going to work as well. Like, I'm just not going to be as good at it as a professional waxer, or the products that are available on the market for the consumer are just not going to be as good as you would get with a professional waxer. Are those things true?
It really depends. I mean, with the product that we have here, this type of wax, it does allow you to go back a second time if you need to, versus what we're used to with soft wax. You only apply it once and that's it. That's all you get. But with the type of wax we have, it only adheres to the hairs and not the skin. So you do have that option to go back a second time around if needed, to just do a nice cleanup, and you still have your skin attached and it still feels nice and smooth.
So let's talk about the basics of at-home waxing. So first, what do you need to do to prepare your skin? Like, should you do it right out of the shower? Should you do it before the shower? Lotion, no lotion? How do you prepare?
So how you want to prepare is you want to exfoliate at least 24 to 48 hours beforehand. Make sure your hairs are long enough. So this is so important with any type of wax, with any type of waxing you do, basically. You want to make sure your hairs are like half an inch, which I like to say a grain of rice. So as long as you can get it to grow, which takes anywhere between 3 to 4 weeks. For some people, it might be 2 weeks. So make sure it's long enough. Exfoliate the night before. Stop putting lotion or anything 24 hours ahead. Don't put any oils, because you don't want the wax to, when it adheres to the skin, to not be able to pick up any hairs. If there is any lotion or oil, it's just going to have that protective layer. So you want to make sure that it's nicely cleansed, which we use our cleanser beforehand. And then after that, for some areas like the underarm and like the bikini area, if you're sweating and things like that, you want to put a little bit of baby powder.
Okay, so then talk me through what we're going to do.
Now with these, you want to go ahead and, as you can see, all these like little beads right here, you're just going to go ahead and pour it in the little cup that I have here. This cup is reusable. So whatever wax you have left in there, you can always reheat it and reuse it for next time. You're going to place it in your microwave. You're going to give it some heating time. We say 45-second intervals just because every microwave setting is different. So make sure you follow all the directions carefully. Once you take it out, once it's fully melted, if you reach like a soupy, liquidy consistency, leave it aside. Get back to it when it's more so a honey-like consistency. That's pretty much what you're looking for as far as like waxing. And then after that, you're going to go ahead and apply within the directions of hair and then remove against it. And you want to make sure you apply a thick layer. So we like to say a banana peel layer, basically, when you're applying. That way, you're not using any strips or anything. That's going to be your strip, basically. And you're just going to, grip and then remove it. And then that's it. If you see there's still hairs left, then you're going to go back the opposite direction and get any remaining hairs left behind.
So you're going to grip and then rip.
Yes.
Okay. How in terms of the size of the sections, should you just cover the whole area at once and just rip it all at once, or should you work in smaller sections?
It really depends your comfort level. At this point, it depends how much you want to go in. We do get a lot of good feedback, people just saying that this is like less, irritating than anything they've tried in the past. So if you feel comfortable putting a big layer and you feel like that's going to be, just one and done, go for it. But I'm one of those people that I like to go in sections and make sure like I'm doing a thorough job. So I do smaller section, and that way, I know exactly where I wax and where it needs to be waxed again. So it just kind of depends on your comfort level, basically.
And then what do you do after? What's the aftercare?
Aftercare, you want to follow up with a hydrating serum, which I have here with me, the Cactus H2O. This has 20 natural ingredients. This is going to help prevent any ingrown hairs. It's going to hydrate the skin right after waxing. And keep in mind, you don't want to use anything that has any oil or lotion that's going to potentially clog your pores.
Okay. Is there any part of your body that you should not be waxing yourself at home?
I would say eyebrows,
Okay.
just because
That's a good tip.
Yes, eyebrows are a big no. Myself as an esthetician, I always have my clients coming back to me when it comes to their brows, just because it is a tricky area to do yourself. And also Brazilian. If you don't feel comfortable really going in, and you can only just do the line, And for the rest of it, I would say see a professional, as well as your eyebrows.
Okay. It's also a little complicated. Like there are some angles that I feel like when we're talking about those parts, they're just kind of hard to get to by yourself.
And also gravity, your wax, that is melted. You want to keep in mind that when your brows, professionals have a better eye looking at it and making sure they're giving you that nice arch. Sometimes when we do it ourselves, we might get a little bit crazy and want to remove a little bit more. And, it's hard to replace it back once it's removed. So.
And then how long will this last? So if I'm using the Wax WAKSE products, how long will that wax? How long will it last before I need to do it again?
Depending on what area you're waxing at home, basically, it can take anywhere between 3 to 4 weeks. It can even take up to 6 weeks. Just again, depends how much hair you have, what area you're waxing. But this is a type of service that you will be only doing once a month. If anything, twice a month. Again, just depends on the area. But keep in mind, with waxing, it does thin the hair out. So the more you do it, the lesser you have to do it as far as like the timing. So you can go longer without having to do another waxing service, basically.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, if it's okay with you, I have to heat this up. Tell me how much I should put in. So hang on. Okay. So for those of you who can't see the video, I've pulled out the cup, and it also comes with these like popsicle sticks, the wooden ones. So I have a stick. And the cup is like a silicone rubbery cup. And then the wax itself is these beads. So they're hard beads. And okay, so you tell me how much I need. So I'll show you as I pour.
Area you're doing. So today
I'm doing my underarms.
Underarms, yeah. So we'll just go ahead and I'll have you pour in like at least half of the cup.
Half of the cup. Okay, so
yeah. And I like how I have it right here.
Okay, but I'm not very hairy, like just in general.
So yeah, that way, if there is still left, you can reheat it and reuse it for next time. And then it also keeps the temperature pretty warm. Sometimes if you put just a little bit, it does cool down a little bit quickly. So it keeps its temperature throughout the whole time, basically.
And you say I can reuse it and I can just leave it in the cup and then reheat it in the cup again?
Exactly.
Okay.
Which is so, because none of it goes to waste, basically.
How's that?
That's
Is
perfect.
that enough? Okay. All right. So I'm going to go microwave this 45-second intervals to a honey-like texture, and then I'm going to come back.
Okay. Awesome.
I'll be right back.
Do you know the medical term for someone who experiences herpes, cold sores, chronic UTIs, yeast infections, and BV? It's called being human. At HelloWisp.com, you can get the sexual health care you need same day without stepping foot in a doctor's office. Privately message a doctor online and get same-day prescriptions for BV, yeast, UTI, STIs, herpes, cold sores, birth control, and emergency contraception delivered discreetly to your home for free in all 50 states. Or send to your local pharmacy to pick up within 3 hours. Take 10% off your first order with the code HEALTHY only at HelloWisp.com. That's hello, WISP.com. Remember your last urgent care visit? It cost $100. Half your day stuck to a plastic chair and a lingering paranoia that you caught COVID in the waiting room. We're changing that. At HelloWisp.com, you can privately message a doctor and pick up your same-day prescription in just 3 hours. That means less time waiting and more time doing the things you love. Our doctors specialize in treating and preventing those annoying reproductive and sexual health issues that affect all humans. Say bye-bye to the doctor's office and hello Wisp. Treat herpes, cold sores, BV, yeast, UTI, and STIs online. Or order birth control and emergency contraception. All picked up same day. Get the medication you need to prevent and treat symptoms. Before you get them, right when you get them, or when you're in a pinch. No waiting rooms, no judgy doctors. Be heard, get care, feel better. Isn't that how all healthcare should work? Take 10% off your first order with the promo code HEALTHY only at HelloWisp.com. That's hello, WISP.com.
So it took about 5 minutes in my microwave.
Yeah.
Is that about normal?
Exactly. So when we say 45-second intervals, we just don't want you to put it 5 minutes right away in the microwave. Again, just because every microwave setting is different. 45-second just kind of allows it to melt at a rate that it's not too quickly, that way, not like smoking out or anything crazy like that.
Got it. So I will say that it's beautiful, that it's like this beautiful, like iridescent gold. It is a really, really pretty color.
And it smells amazing too.
It
smells like
does
chocolate.
smell really good. It does smell like chocolate. I was trying to place that smell. It totally smells like chocolate. So we're going to let this cool a little. How long does it take for it to start to cool?
Now, a really quick trick that I learned along the way is that if you're kind of not impatient and you want it to start being in that consistency that you want, just add a little bit more beads to it.
Oh.
Just add a to it, and then stir it a little bit. And then when it gets a little bit thicker, then that indicates that it's ready to eat, basically.
Okay, perfect. That's smart.
Rather for it to cool down.
Oh, and it has a little thing to help you. It has a little stick. Okay, so I added some beads. Okay. All right, so you're in charge. Tell me what to do.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and apply going up.
So you apply in the direction of the hair, right?
Exactly. And then at top of it, I'm making like almost like a circle going down. That way, it kind of gives me a nice lip. So when I'm removing it, I have a place to grip.
Got it. It is probably not a great idea to be doing this around electronic equipment, but let's pray for the best. Okay. Let's see. Oh, yours looks so beautiful and organized. Mine looks like a toddler's painting.
And you're doing it good for your first time. You're doing a good, like, thick application.
For those who are listening, Shay's looks beautiful. It looks like frosting on a cake.
Oh,
perfectly smooth. And mine looks like a chewing gum nightmare, but it's because I'm new. Okay. All right. Let's, now it has to harden.
Yes.
Okay. So it does feel like kind of hard, but still a little sticky.
Yeah. Still a little sticky.
Okay.
In the meantime, if you notice the top area, it's drier faster. You can just kind of like give it a little bit of.
So I'm going to pull from the top because my hair is grown this way. Okay, I'm ready. All right.
Are you doing
this? All right, on 3. I'm so scared. 1, 2, 3. But it worked. It totally worked. Okay. So now I know the process. I will say I'm going to finish it in the bathroom because I'm very nervous about doing this in front of my computer. I'm like literally over my computer with this hot wax and my mic and all my equipment that I need for work. I'm going to finish this in the bathroom. But it did totally work.
It does. Yes. And it's such a lifesaver.
So then you mentioned, if I go over it again, do I go the same direction?
So first pass, go within the direction of hairs and then remove. And if there's still hairs left, go back the opposite direction. And keep in mind, if you've been shaving for a long time for the underarm, there is going to be hairs that are going to be a little bit shorter here and there. Just make sure you keep on with the waxing, and that's going to help the process moving forward. So.
And if it does get on a surface or even like some clothes, does it just peel off the surface later? Is there any like protecting your stuff?
Yes. So I would say if that does happen, just let it dry completely. Don't try to remove it right there and then, just because it just gets messier and more stickier. Just let it dry completely. A lot of times on the surface when I'm doing, I do notice when I just let it dry completely, I just kind of flick it a little bit and it just comes right off. But in the whole time, just let it dry and then go ahead and try to remove it, basically.
Thank you. Perfect. Shay, where can people find you on social media and also more information about wax?
Absolutely. So my social media is Shay, SHAY, underline SADROLASHRAFI. That's my Instagram. And then if you want to find out more information about the wax that we have, you can go to WAKSE underline official. And we're all over TikTok, all over Instagram. So follow us. We do a lot of videos, tips, tricks. So make sure you follow us so you can get like the new up-to-date information.
Hey guys, I'd love to hear from you. Hit me up on Instagram with show ideas, guest suggestions, or products you'd like to know more about. Also, don't forget that you can shop the show on our Amazon page and check out my YouTube page for tutorials and more. Links in the show notes. The Trend Reporter is a production of iHeartRadio. For more shows from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. I just want to say how happy I am to be on the iHeart Podcast Network. I have learned so much from my guests, and it's taught me that listening and being heard can lead to change. And AT&T knows all about this too. They started listening to their customers who spoke out, saying that they weren't getting a fair deal. And now they're giving every customer, both new and existing, the same great deals. So listen up and learn more about getting a great smartphone deal at att.com/best deals. Restrictions apply. Have you ever noticed how some people always seem to have the best luck, like that friend who can always find a sale? Well, now some people are all people at AT&T, because AT&T is giving all of their customers, both new and existing, the same great deals. This is a big deal. Visit att.com/best deals to learn more. That is att.com/best deals. Restrictions apply.